Hello and welcome back to the AFL High Performance Podcast. Today's episode is all for the Australian rules footballers out there looking to build an AFL body this preseason. And to kick it off, if you comment AFL body in the below YouTube description, I will give you a free preseason program on our high performance program for the rest of this 2026 preseasons. That includes if you comment in this month of November, you get the rest of November, December, so the Christmas program, January, and then of course February. So you're getting 3.5 to 4 months, depending on when you comment. AFL body. You need to comment this though prior to 2026 starting. So if it's in the year of 2025, you get a free 3-month program to set you up for hopefully your most successful season yet. Not only from availability point of view, but from a performance point of view. So we'll talk about some tips and particularly the importance of narrowing in your focus on asking yourself, what is one thing that if you could improve to help your game, that's going to really move the needle for your football performance for your team this year. So for some of you, that might be your ability to run out games, your endurance, your engine. So working on your capacity from a running perspective, but also lifestyle, making sure that you're lean and eating really healthy to fuel your body. Perhaps it might be strength to help the contest side of things. So ensuring that your strength is up in the gym, you're practicing either wrestling or some form of combat work to be able to transfer that strength into specific positions that you're going to get into on the field, and then ultimately doing it in training and in games. Or perhaps it might be your speed, footwork point of view, your first 3 steps for an acceleration, your ability to be able to step and create separation from the defender or defenders and be able to execute skills at speed. So whether you want to work on any of those things, I think it's really important to attack one and put a lot of energy into that area on a weekly basis, daily basis, getting better in that space to be able to see the fruits of your hard labor, and rather than spreading yourself thin and trying to work on everything, which can easily be done in AFL because it does demand a lot of different areas to be able to perform. So it's easy to get to chop and change your big rocks. We'll start with strength, then move into power, and then move into speed. So whether you've identified that key area, that's the first step. Then the next layer is putting in a program and plan in place to ensure you're making the most of your efforts. Then we'll talk about the availability, and then to finish off common mistakes that I see in preseason, particularly with developing athletes. So how to mitigate those mistakes, and ultimately how to track your progress as well, because we don't want to be working hard and not achieving what we want to be, where we want to be going. So you need to be able to, typically what you measure, you improve. So we need to make sure we've got a clear tracking progress. So we start with strength. For me, from a lower body point of view, from an exercise point of view, we go with the squat. So whether that's a full range back squat or a box squat. And then for those with back issues or perhaps niggles at the moment, and the back and loading your spine from an axle loading point of view isn't the best for you to be able to lift heavy with, then I'd go with a belt squat or a leg press, double leg press. So some form of consistent exposure that you're doing for minimum once, ideally twice, if you're looking to improve your contest side of things, and you've identified strength as an area you need to get better. Good rule of thumb, let's say you're 100 kilos, you want to be a minimum of 1.8 times body weight on that box squat. So if you're 100 kilos for a good range, not 90 degrees or below 90 degrees, but that position that you commonly get into in the field, particularly when you're defending or reading the game, and you're in that loaded athletic position, we want to be strong in that position. And that's commonly the positions you're going to get into, whether you're a midfielder jostling for the best position in a centre bounce, or perhaps you're a key forward or key defender and you're jostling with your opponent in trying to create space and make sure that you're in the best position for the drop of the ball, whether you're a small forward or for a contested mark, to be able to create separation from your opponent so you can leap the ball. So we need to be strong, not in deep ranges of motion, but in that athletic position that I talked about. So being able to generate high force in that position is hugely beneficial for AFL footballers. So I would typically go there. If any form of squatting, like you don't have access to a belt squat and you've got issues with squatting, whatever that reason is, then I would move to the trap bar deadlift as your key lift. Upper body wise, barbell bench press is really popular because you can simply generate the most amount of force typically with a barbell over a dumbbell. So we want to have barbell bench press in our program. Even for those that are looking to get faster, it's great from a nervous system point of view in terms of generating high force. So that's something that for those that, like I said, want to get stronger, they would be pressing twice a week. And then if they're looking into that power focus, maybe you're doing one heavy and then more of an explosive one, like a Smith machine bench throw, for example, or a banded bench press. So it's lightweight, but you're moving it really, really fast. And then for upper body pulling point of view, you can't go wrong with a weighted chin up. It includes obviously your body weight, but then also some external load. So great for grip strength, back strength, good for building that body armor around the ribs, but also for our finger gripping strength as well, for things like being able to stick out tackles. So I like the chin up for those reasons. So they're probably the key ones. When it comes to power, I think the hang clean, certainly if you've got those safety pins as well, so you're not picking the bar up each time from the ground, just to look after the back. Typically, backs are overloaded with all the running volumes in AFL footy and all the contact and the collisions. So where we can, we give the back a bit of a chop out. So I think having safety pins is good, and just control that range of motion so they're not going too flex through their spine, and that way they can have maximal intent with short range of motion, which is what we want for speed and power qualities. Jumps, box jumps, broad jumps, lateral jumps, typically a little bit slower, short shortening cycle and a bit more range of motion than our reactivity plyometric areas. So for power, we want a bit more time with our contraction time to be able to generate maximum force. And of course, throws as well. Medicine ball, like granny ball throws over the head where you triple extend, lying on your back, having a partner catch your concentric throws. You can be in like a split stance and rotate through the ankle, hip, and shoulders and throw into the wall. Anything where your maximal intent to move that medicine ball as fast as possible. Slams, all really good exercises and can be added. All these exercises as well can be added into pre-field for someone that wants to work on their power. A great opportunity to do it is when they're fresh, and typically we want to get our field work in fresh. So if you want to do your power work as part of a warm-up, it's going to help potentiate, which is essentially prime you for to move explosively in your training, which is only a good thing. But also it has minimal fatigue. These exercises, if you're doing them properly, like 3 to 4 rounds of 3 to 4 repetitions per exercise, and may only go for 10 minutes, for example. But everything with maximum intent to move as fast as possible. When it comes to speed, break it down into your acceleration work. So making sure you got that positive shin angle. We've got our shin angle and our trunk, as Jones Dodo would say, is our compass. So we're aligned there. We've got good efficiency with our 45-degree angles and our shapes, which you can do a whole heap of different drills. Check out our YouTube playlist around that. And then we've got our deceleration work where we want to be efficient in our feet. So being able to roll from our heel to our toe out in front of our body, not too far out in front of our hips, where we've got maximum, high braking forces in one limb. We want to distribute that over short, quick steps. And then able to have the trunk and core strength to be able to keep that 45-degree angle, similar to deceleration, so you're ready for the next play. So that's really, really important with our deceleration. Then with our speed, sort of break that down into linear speed and curvilinear speed. So with our linear speed, good front side mechanics. When we're hitting foot contact with the ground, we've got minimal sort of thigh gap between the swing leg and the stance leg. Good posture, nice high vertical posture, spine, hips not over extended through our lower back, and we've got a vertical shin with good ankle stiffness, typically big rocks for sprinting. And then with our curve work, whether you be doing like C shape, like 1.5, 2 meter C shape radius speed efforts, or you might do an S bend speed effort. So we want to be leaning into the direction that we're going and working that medial leg and being able to maintain 80 to 85% top velocity through our curvilinear speed, particularly important for like our forwards who are trying to make it life difficult for the defenders in their running patterns to be able to set up a tick lead where you've got that separation away from your defender by doing some different curvilinear speeds in the forward 50, for example. And same with the midfielders as well. Before the ruckman would tap the ball, you can be doing lots of different little S-bend shapes to try and create space. Then we've got our agility as well. So that's our footwork. Typically with defensive agility, we want short, quick steps so you're able to read and react. And then with our offensive agility, that's where our reactive strength is really important. Our plyometrics in the gym help with that, develop that ankle stiffness. So when we do generate high amount of force with our hips, we're able to hop and ping from the ground and create that space with 1 to 2 steps away from the opponent with like power cuts and speed spins, drop steps, so forth. So reactive, good RSI, reactive strength index is really important if you want to work on your agility. And if you're looking for that program for that, it's quite complex and you need to be graded. So that's why I think working with a coach, like one of our AFL strength and conditioning coaches, Dylan, Geordie, and Caleb, all really competent and have a great understanding of our progressions and be able to take you to, for someone that might be new to plyometrics to a really high level and making sure that the progressions are safe for you. So if you're interested in joining our coaches, we do have a little bit of availability at the moment. All of them are really good at what they do, all got AFL experience. So make sure to reach out to us. You can email me at jack@propellerpro.com or give me a call on 0402 55 4434. We can jump on a discovery call. And then from an injury point of view, I think that's where testing comes in. So testing your Nord board, testing your seated calf, testing your 10-5 hop test, which is just a counter movement jump and then 10 repeated hops, drop jumps coming off a box, like 40 centimeter box, counter movement jump, how high an athlete can jump, groin squeeze, and then abduction is also looking at glute strength, your ASH test, testing the shoulder in 3 challenging different planes of motion for the shoulder, and both for strength and RFD, rate of force development, as well with the neck in 4 different directions as well to see how strong the traps are, for things like concussion and neck and head injuries. So that's probably a battery of tests there that are really important for AFL. If you don't have access to these things, reach out to a physio clinic, a local one near you, and most of them have access to Vold software nowadays, so they can test your son or daughter, and that way you can give them the best chance to be able to put a program in place to help mitigate these injuries that are quite prevalent, particularly in athletes later on in their career. So if you put in good habits now, it pays insurance. It's like paying dividends in sort of insurance policy for later on. Generally speaking, this time of year in November, we want to develop really good efficiency, both in the gym, on the field, with our running mechanics and our lifting technique. So build that efficiency first. Then you want to add your capacity, which is how heavy you can lift, how fast you can run, what your beep test is, or your 2K time trial, so your aerobic capacity, max velocity, your top speed, all these things. So know what success feels like in all these movement patterns, then develop the capacities. And then ultimately, come the new year, you've got these qualities at the level, to standard for your position, and then it's all about transfer. And that's where the match simulation comes in, and being able to apply all those qualities in the context of the game becomes more and more important. How do you track your progress? So testing. So if you haven't got access to force plates and these things, just do, come up with different versions, but I would come up with a test. So whether you're using a stopwatch, whether you're jumping and using a chalk height and measuring it that way, or you're jumping for distance out in front because you want to get better with your power, whatever it is, come up with tests that you can do and do it every 6 weeks to monitor your progress. Really, really important. Otherwise, how do you know that you're fast tracking your progress and getting ahead unless you test? So I think that's critical. And just test the things that you've got after. Like I said at the start of the show, if you want to get faster, that's the thing that you should test every 6 weeks. Then you're testing everything. Common mistakes to finish off: too much running, not enough speed. That's a common one. See it all the time. Athletes running every day, and they're doing similar running sessions every day. That's monotonous. It's boring. It's going to burn you out mentally. You're going to start going through the motions. But also physically, that's when injuries pop up, when we're just overloading and doing too much of the same thing. So we need variation from an athlete development point of view. We need to be complementing your endurance with your speed, and vice versa. If you're doing too much speed, not enough endurance, you need both in the game. So making sure you've got a clear plan and a well varied plan that's got set focuses on each day. Lifting heavy with poor technique. So particularly important for those that identified they want to get stronger. Learn the technique first. Strength training is a skill, just like running is a skill, just like football, kicking. All these things are skills. So before you kick the ball as far as you can, you probably want to learn your ball drop, for example. Lifting is no different. Learn how to squat properly. Get coached. Develop good habits from someone who knows what a good squat and good bench press looks like. Then you want to add overload to that and load to that and periodize it to maximize your benefits. But get the form right first. Really important for performance, because bad technique also won't allow you to reach your potential as fast or at all. Where good technique will pay you for the rest of your career. You'll always be able to keep maximizing your efforts. Random sessions or drills, particularly popping up more often than now because of the online world. You're seeing what other people are doing, and you're constantly comparing probably what you're doing to what others are doing. So it leans itself towards too much change too early. And that's where having a clear focus and testing is really important. Because if your program's working, you don't need to be adding in all these different things. Just stick to what's working. So random sessions and ad hoc sessions that don't have any focus or purpose to them aren't the best way to spend your time, basically. That's it, guys. Hopefully there's some good actionables there. If you have any questions, if you're interested in joining our program, you can have a 2-week trial. Even better yet, enter in AFL body in the comment section of this video, YouTube video, and you get 3 months for free. Remember to do that before 2025 to get that free 3-month program. And if you want to work with a coach, one of our coaches, like I said, they're all unbelievable what they do. Reach out to me and book in a discovery call. Thanks. I'll see you on the next episode.